products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And by JGP Janitorial. Lose the mop, they'll clean the slop. JGP Janitorial, 548-1221.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. I'm happy to be with you this morning here in studio on a beautiful Thursday morning. Thankful. Hope the traffic's not that bad out there. I know it wasn't for me in my old little 90-second drive to come here. So it was easy peasy for me. I hope it's easy for everybody else out there. I'm happy to say that in the studio this morning, I am welcoming Anne-Marie Diaz. She's an author and illustrator, and she has just written a children's book called The Flying Mermaid. I just had a glance through this book a few minutes ago, and right away, I just got this dream-like feeling from it, and that's definitely coming from a little bit from the message of the book, what I understand, and also the illustrations. So, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning, Kathy. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for what you do and featuring me and other creatives and entrepreneurs. I appreciate it.
It's good to have because we're able to see all the different industries in Cayman, the little facets of business that you can do in Cayman, and you're a creative person.
Yeah.
And so this is, I know right before the show started, you said, it's great that you also feature creatives.
Yeah,
and I think there was an idea previously that if you're creative, it's hard to kind of thrive in Cayman. But I'm seeing a whole lot of people change that narrative, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Absolutely. I mean, Caymanians are incredibly creative people, whether it's drawing or other forms of artistic expression. But we are a very creative people in the general sense, in terms of how we problem solve and how we support one another. Like, all of that stems from a level of creativity. And so, yeah, we're definitely seeing people thrive. And places like the Cayman National Cultural Foundation that provided an art grant for the book, the National Gallery, the museum, there's all of these agencies on the island that support creatives and help us to bring things like the Flying Mermaid to fruition. So thank you for your support too.
No problem. Well, tell us about the background of this. Well, what got you started in this book, and is it your very first one?
Yes, this is really my very first one to be officially published and available for purchase. But I've always been very interested in art, in making little stories, poetry. When I was a teenager, made a little story about a Caymanite Goody who who had a Caymanite amulet and can speak with people to try to save the mangroves. That didn't happen, but I might go back to that. That might be my second one.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's cool, right? And so I've always been fascinated by just our people, our islands, the flora and fauna. Like, we live in such a magical place. And so that definitely is part of, the background in terms of what inspired this book. But I think the spark that made it happen was I work with children and parents at the Family Resource Center. And then I had my own child. And when he was a little boy, he would say things like, I can't, and get so devastated, just trying to learn little things like how to dress himself and stuff like that. And so we created this little jingle to counter those thoughts of I can't, to say things like I can't yet, or yes, I can and I will. And my little sticker you can see that comes with the story if you purchase, or the first 100 books at least to sell will have that sticker. And it says, yes, I can and I will. And so it started as this little jingle we'd sing together. And he would, have to sing it with me. And that would help to kind of power him through in those moments. And I find that's just, not just children, but it's a part of our human condition that we doubt ourselves, we talk ourselves out of things, we maybe betray ourselves a little bit. And so it's how we talk to ourselves, and that magic of belief and perseverance definitely inspired the book. We lived near the sea at the time, so the little jingle turned into this little story of a fish that couldn't fly or wanted to fly.
I was like, hold on, a lot of fish don't fly.
Yeah. And so he inspired that too, because we'd have conversations. We'd see little, fish jump out of the ocean, and he'd say, "Oh, mommy, look, flying fish." And so those little things, they add up. And so I decided I'm going to write a little story about it, and I did. And then when I became pregnant with my daughter, the illustrations took a little bit of a turn because I had to learn how to create art digitally. My first degree is in fine art, so I'm very comfortable with oil on canvas, watercolor and paper, but turning to digital art was a real, that was part of one of my struggles, where I had to tell myself I can and I will type of thing. And I was pregnant with my daughter, and I thought of her as this little fish in my tummy, and I'd call her my little mermaid. And so I thought, I need to personify this character. And yeah, I'm going to turn her into a mermaid. And so the illustrations and the writing itself kind of married together and informed one another a little bit. And I learned how to do digital arts by following on Skillshare. It's a great platform.
I use it. I love it.
It's a great platform. And so I used it. I was very fascinated with a lot of children's illustrators. And one of my favorites was Vashti Harrison, who illustrated Solway at the time. I didn't know her for anything else at the time, but which is a beautiful story and actually inspired a little piece in this book too about the stars. Because Solway means star.
Okay.
But Vashti had her own course on Skillshare.
Okay.
And she just has this beautiful way of like capturing light and creating like this magic, even in just a still, in a little illustration. But she can do animation and things like that too. And so I learned how to do digital art, how to use an iPad and how to draw and all of that.
Okay, because I was like, I need you to school me a little bit here, because when I think digital art, which I really don't think about much, but I just kind of assumed that you're somehow transferring what you've done on canvas or paper or anything, and somehow digitally transferring that to
well, you
online,
can
a computer.
You can. And when I started out, I thought, well, I'll just do watercolor paintings. I'll scan them in.
Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like these are actual watercolor paintings.
Yeah, thank you. But no, I started that way, and I felt like there's something, I want to try this out. And so to actually draw it from scratch and to take it and illustrate it to this point with color and everything directly into an iPad.
Okay.
And so I learned Procreate, learned different ways how to use an Apple Pen. And it was a lot easier, I think, because I had my art background and knowing how to. So, but yeah, learning, it was just a brand new tool. So learning how to
Different
do that.
tools, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. That makes sense in that, because I'm not even thinking about the, like you said, like the pen for the iPad or anything like that. I'm not even thinking about that in that sense. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, when I think about the digital art, then I think about like Adobe Illustrator, for example.
Yes. Which I do not know how to use.
Well, and I'm sure you can, you're interested.
But I can
Skillshare does
learn.
have some courses.
Skillshare is great. And I mean, it's so
Yep.
affordable too. It's
It
a
is.
small monthly fee, and which you can always cancel when you're done with
$3
it.
a month or something.
Is it
crazy.
now? Oh,
It's
wow.
really inexpensive.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I'm signed up for
Yeah.
a yearly thing, but I can't remember how much it is in the year.
Well, and I love the part that you're paying, sure, the company Skillshare gets paid, but you're paying artists and other creatives to teach you what they know.
Yeah.
And it can even be things around marketing, social media, not just, how to sew or how to illustrate or how to bake. So it's pretty cool.
There's so many courses on there. I mean, data science,
Yeah.
so many things that you want to learn. So
Yeah.
not just strictly on the creatives, for sure.
Yeah.
I really like Skillshare. So it's that's kind of cool that you went there to kind of train yourself in what to do.
Absolutely.
I like this
Yeah.
idea. We got to go to our first commercial break,
Okay.
and when we come back, we'll continue.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Attention, book lovers and history buffs. Get ready for an evening with one of Cayman's most celebrated storytellers. Join Caymanian cultural historian, educator, and author J.A. Roy Bodden in association with Ian Randall Publishers for the launch of 2 new books, Trouble in the Streets and The Legend of Long Celia, Woman of Blood and Bone. Meet the author in person, grab a signed copy, and dive into the heart of Caymanian history and culture through Bodden's captivating, powerful storytelling. Saturday, December 7th at the Studio Theater. The Harkwell Center comes alive, starting at 6 p.m. Cayman Thanksgiving, a time for gratitude and celebration. The Church of God, Boddentown, invites the Cayman community to a special Cayman Thanksgiving celebration service this Sunday, December 1st at 10:30 a.m. Come together as we reflect on the goodness of God over the past year and celebrate His blessings in our lives. On behalf of the Church of God Chapel family in Boddentown, have a blessed and joyful Cayman Thanksgiving and look forward to seeing you this Sunday at 10:30 a.m.
Williams Productions proudly presents the 2024 Gospel Fest. This year, bringing you award-winning artists Jeff and Sherry Easter.
Over and over, again and again, God is faithful.
Alongside the incredible Marshall Hall. All live in concert, December 31st at First Baptist Church. Gates open at 6 p.m. Concert starts at 7. So come early and get ready for a night of unforgettable music. Tickets are $25 pre-sale or $35 at the gate. Funds raised will help to support Inclusion Cayman. Grab yours today at Funky Tanks or the Cayman Islands Conference. Celebrate, sing, and start your new year right at Gospel Fest 2024. Don't miss it. The 2024 Gospel Fest is proudly sponsored by Office of the Premier, Cayman First, Health City, Hides and Sons, Value Med Pharmacy, Ministry of Border Control, Labor and Culture, Uncle Clem's, Physiotherapy Center, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Heritage, Praise 87.9, Ministry of Tourism and Ports, and Radio Cayman.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. In studio with me this morning, I have Anne-Marie Diaz. She's an author and illustrator, and we're talking about her new children's book called The Flying Mermaid. And you know what? I'm going to ask you to actually, if you can, prop it up there because so the cameras can catch it a little bit. And so this is the book.
This is it.
It's absolutely beautiful. If we flip open some pages, we can see a little bit of the, what I call kind of like dream-like illustrations. And the colors of Cayman, and I think as you described it as well.
Absolutely.
It was those cotton candy skies that we're used to, the beautiful, just the beautiful hues that are just around Cayman. That's super captured in this book, I find.
Thank you.
So that's what really stood out to me, was like, oh, okay, this is really cool.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that, because that was definitely one of my aims, and I'm opening it right now to, I think, one of my favorite parts. It's meant to be the personification of the sun, the moon, and the sky, and it's just a little story that the blue-footed booby bird in the story tells the mermaid about long ago, that there were fish that loved the heavens and wanted to be with the sky, the sun, and the moon so much that they jumped so high to be with them. And so they're blessed. These fish are blessed and turned into the stars. And that's how we have stars. And so it's just like this little story in a story to inspire her to keep going, especially when you hear those little voices about you can't and you shouldn't and those sorts of statements, which we often tell ourselves. You know, a lot of times we're our own worst enemy, and it's not necessarily anyone around us, or we might assume other people don't want us to do certain things or tell us we can't. But it's about not necessarily listening to yourself, but actually talking to yourself and pushing you through hard moments. But it's nice to have friends that encourage you too. And so there's that nice little moment in the book. Yeah.
I love that. And the concept of being able to teach children in this book, yes, I can, and I will. That's the overall kind of theme, the message that you're putting out with this book.
Yes.
It's an affirmation.
Yeah,
and
it
so
really is.
I think you said the first 100 books come with a sticker.
Yeah.
That say, yes, I can, and I will.
And I will.
Right?
And there she is flying in the air.
And I love that, because you said it, I said it, there is a certain kind of conditioning that does happen.
Yes.
And I don't have children, but I can see sometimes when parents can be really hard on their children. And I understand a discipline part and having to make them a little resilient to certain things. But I also understand in in speaking life and upfulness into young people, and all people, but especially starting from a young age.
Yeah.
You do have the ability. So to have that affirmation of, yes, I can, and I will.
Yeah.
It seems like a simple thing, but it's so powerful.
It's so powerful. And I mean, I think of my parents. They're incredible people, hardworking people, and both teachers, or retired now, but they were teachers, which is such a noble position to do. And I remember, I'm thinking now as a parent, and putting myself in their shoes, you really humanize your parents when you become one yourself. And going to them at whatever I was, 16, 17, saying, yeah, I want to go and get an arts degree and an art psychotherapy degree. And it was never a statement of, oh no, let's get realistic. Why don't you go into something like business? They were completely the opposite. And it was never a, you can't. It was a, how? That's awesome, baby. How? Nice. And that's such a beautiful question to ask anybody, especially children, because you ignite them to really go and figure it out and go, yeah, how? Okay, I want this, but how? Because, and then you learn like self-reliance and resiliency too, because then you're like, yeah, how? So I researched, I talked to other people who were interested in similar subjects. Much like in the book too, like she talks to others, she analyzes the Cayman Airways plane going by, it's always a how. And belief is the magic that we can use to make the how happen. And so that's really what the book is about. And I'm so fortunate to have had my parents. I think my mom was my first kind of inspiration, because I remember she would sit and read to me, which was always just a lovely memories to look back on. But she'd always talk about the illustrations. And then I remember my first aha moment, she's sitting down and she drew out one of the illustrations. And at that time, you think of your mom as just a mom, not a multi-dimensional person.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, she can do this. And if my mom can do it, I can do it. And so that kind of sparked that interest into literature and art, but definitely art.
From a really young age.
A really young age.
That's amazing.
And I've had incredible people, very strong feminine types like Miss Molly Farrell. I don't know if anyone recognizes that name, but she was one of the first principals of the Boddentown Primary School. She was a force to be reckoned with, and she, brought art to that little school. We had a studio in the back. We had our own kiln where we could create pottery.
Nice.
Yes, back in the 80s and 90s. And
she was a visionary for
she
sure.
really was, and God, may she rest in peace. She passed away sadly a few years ago, but she definitely left a mark. She opened us up to what back in the day I think was the Pirates Week Arts Festival, and it's now K-Fest. So she got us like performing and singing and dancing and creating, and it really opens children up. The arts in and of itself it's so important.
Yes.
Just as important as math and English and all of the other subjects, and then I've had other incredible art teachers, Miss Devlin, Mr. Broad, Miss Lorna Reed, some of those names might ring bells. So I've been very fortunate to have had the guidance and leadership from other powerful artists in the community, for sure.
So when you put your idea together to do the Flying Mermaid and said, okay, I can do this story now, and you learned how to do digital art, basically.
Yeah.
What was the next step for you? Because you received a grant from the Cultural Foundation, right?
Yeah.
So how did that opportunity even happen? How did you know about it and think, okay, I'm going to reach out?
I think I had heard about other local performers and artists who had been given arts grants before, and I'd never clicked that, I should go and do this, I think, until another children's author had done it. Michelle Bryan, she has a beautiful book, Beach Day on Pease Bay, and she inspired me too, and her people will know her or might know Michelle Illustrations, maybe more fondly known. And she's quite well known. She got her arts grant, she did her book, and I thought, that's very inspirational. I'm gonna go for it too, see if I get it, because it's never a given. And then I also thought about Plan B. If I don't not awarded that, what else can I do? And so sometimes you have to do that too, right? It's
like self-fund and...
Yeah, exactly. And so I was very fortunate. And I think that was maybe the hardest part of it, this whole journey.
Which part? Getting the grant?
Is once I had the grant, then how did I go about actually publishing it, printing it to what I had envisioned and all of that?
Tell us what those steps were.
Oh my goodness, I've learned so much. And I've learned that actually to illustrate and picture the end result first, because I didn't realize how challenging a horizontally oriented book would be. An actual portrait orientation is much easier, and of course, hardcover, a lot more expensive, harder to get and to do locally.
The binding,
all of that you have to think about. And I'm fortunate that we have Compass Media, who print fabulous products and to a wonderful level, and I like the quality it came out with. But yeah, you go through such a journey and you learn so much, and I've definitely learned what I will and won't do next time, it's all really valuable information. So yeah, this book has been a long time coming.
Yeah. So it was Compass Media that you went to to get it actually printed and put together.
And very professional, efficient, not expensive. If you're thinking of doing that yourself, I would definitely recommend them.
That's a good step. We got to go to our next commercial break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll wrap up. I know you're going to have a bit of a book launch happening, so we're definitely going to get into those details after the commercial.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future,
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance,
or protecting your family's household investment.
from our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Do you want to make a difference this holiday season? Well, join the Lions Club of Grand Cayman in spreading joy and helping those in need. On Saturday, November 30th, Lions members will be at all Foster's locations, Kirk Market, Kirk Home Center, and both A.L. Thompson's locations, collecting funds for the needy. Your generosity can bring smiles to those who need it most and brighten our community this holiday season. Together, we can make a difference. See you on November 30th.
Together, the Lions Club of Grand Cayman and you can make a difference. See you November 30th.
Nominations are now open for National Heroes Day Awards 2025. This year, we honor Caymanian excellence in business in recognition of the icons of entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership, those whose ingenuity and hard work have shaped our business community. Submit your nomination online at gov.ky/labor or email nhd@gov.ky for more details. The nomination deadline is November 30th. Don't wait. Make your nomination today.
Black Friday is here. It's time to shine. At Kay's Fine Jewelry, where magic aligns. Save big on rings, watches, and more. Luxury treasures at deals you'll adore. Find your treasure. The best awaits you. But you have to act now to make your wishes come true.
Kay's Fine Jewelry, bringing sparkle to your holiday season with exclusive deals this Black Friday on diamonds, bracelets, engagement rings, flexi jewelry, designer watches, and more.
Kay's Fine Jewelry, located on Albert Panton Street, across from the House of Parliament.
Are you passionate about making a difference in young lives? The Ministry of Education's Overseas Scholarship is your pathway to becoming a transformative classroom teacher. Confirm your eligibility or apply at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Have questions? Email the Scholarship Secretariat Unit at scholarships@gov.ky. Applications for the 2025 to 2026 academic year close on January 31st, 2025. This message is brought to you from the Ministry of Education.
Get ready, Cayman Brac, for an unforgettable Pirates Week celebration. Join us Saturday, November 30th at Watering Place Garden starting at 11 a.m. You can enjoy live music by the Swanky Kitchen Band, see the Pirates, a festival Queen competition, food festival, cotton candy, snow cones, water slides, and a whole lot more. Don't miss the Gimme Story Storytelling Festival at 6 p.m. and fireworks at 7 p.m. Brought to you by the Cayman Islands government.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio I have Anne-Marie Diaz. She's an author and illustrator. We're talking about her new children's book, The Flying Mermaid. And you haven't officially quite launched this book, right?
Haven't fully launched it. I'm looking at next week, which is December 7th. This Saturday, the Georgetown Library are having their local book author expo. And there's lots of holiday markets happening, so I'm encouraging you to come to this one too.
Mm-hmm.
December 7th from 10:30 to 1 o'clock. I'll be there with several other local book authors, so I'm privileged to be alongside some really great people. And yeah, you get to buy books for Christmas. How awesome is that? I have become that person where I buy people, especially children, books for Christmas. I think it's so important. You know, we're on our screens a lot, but the power that books have, especially in print.
Yes.
You know, we can't lose that. We have to preserve that. And I think we have to, as the adult, really, if you're getting, purchasing gifts for children, you know, certainly like, yeah, of course, toys and things like that. But please, not just electronics, please consider a book and come to the local book author expo next Saturday, December 7th, 10:30 to 1 at the Georgetown Library. I'll be there, and several other local authors will be. Some children and some adult books. So you have, just a variety and a taste for everything there.
Well, this is a great idea for me because I'd love to get some of my friends for their children. I'd love to get some books like that. So I think that's a great idea. And it's the first time that I'm hearing about that local authors book fair. So
yes.
Thank you for plugging.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The library officers are doing a great job. And I was speaking to them. I was like, is it okay? I want to like do my own promo and things like that. So even on my little Instagram page, I create a little video about it too. But yeah, please come on out. There's new books out. I'm seeing a lot of Sean. Oh, I'm forgetting the title, but Sean is definitely part of the title, and I remembered because my brother is called Sean. But it's a story for children that have ADHD. And recently my son was diagnosed with this, and so I'm definitely getting my own copy. But yeah, there's going to be other authors there. Please come on out. It's so important.
I'm going to be there for sure.
Thank you.
Now that's going to be at the book fair, right?
Yes.
But when it comes to getting your books into, I guess, schools is going to be one thing I'm curious about, but the local shops, have you been able to work out those kind of agreements?
Yeah, so I'm definitely working on it. So it's available hopefully in as many stores as I can possibly get. But so far I have it in Goodness and I have it in Pure Art, which are both fabulous stores and great places to go shop too for Christmas. Or you can buy directly from me, which is always nice, and I'll make sure you get your sticker. But yeah, it's been, this is another part of it. And so I'm learning as I go too, and talking to other local book authors about how they did it and what they've learned. Because that's really important too, to listen to other people who have done things before you, right?
Well, absolutely. They can
Don't just wing it. Yeah.
This is the process you have to go through and all the rest. Yeah, that kind of guidance absolutely helps.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I like that. I know at the very end of the book, there's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise. Well, obviously we're told to respect books, take care of books, don't draw in books. We teach our children that. But there is a little part at the end where we can encourage, it's all about doing things within boundaries and limits. You can encourage your child to draw. And it's just an idea for them to write or draw something that they believe they can and will do. Because I think that's really important, that we don't just, read or think about things, but we put pen to paper ourselves. And that will be part of what I'm aiming to do too with the Georgetown Library. We're going to, iron things out, but I'm hoping that I can do a kind of revolving to all the libraries where I'm reading the book, having Miss Izzy come and sing the song that we collaborated on. And
you collaborated on a song.
I did.
For this book. Okay. I remember the song that you did with your son. So
right.
That's one collaboration there. But
that is one collaboration there. Yeah. So it was a jingle before it became a book. And so I thought I really want the jingle to become a thing. And so I wrote the song, part of which is in the book. And she sings it to herself to kind of empower herself to keep going. And so I wrote a proper song, and I'm not a great singer, but I kind of gave Miss Izzy the idea of what I was going for. And of course, she smashed it out of the park. I have it on my YouTube channel. But yeah, if you go onto my Instagram page, you can listen to it too. I'm using it in my little videos as well as...
What is your Instagram page and YouTube channel?
Yeah, so it's Annie B Artsy. So Annie, ANNIE .B .artsy, ARTSEE. And you'll find me. And my YouTube channel, you can type in The Flying Mermaid by Anne Marie. It should come up, I'm hoping. But yeah, and I can share it on Radio Cayman too. But yeah, her and her stepson Yannick, they took it, produced it, high quality. She's the singer on it.
Yannick is an amazing musician as well. I think he plays like 18 instruments or something crazy.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing producer.
Yeah.
He is such a talent.
He really is. Yeah, because I just said, I want a little bit of this. I want it to definitely sound, Caribbean song.
Yes.
On almost like that kind of that Disney-like voice I'd want. And so they
Which
gave
she very
me that.
much has as well.
Yes, yeah, she does.
What
So
a great collaboration.
it was
I love
so
that.
fun. Yeah, so I'm hoping we can get together and go around to the libraries and not just read the book and perform the song, but encourage children to do their own illustrations. And as an artist and art psychotherapist, I want to lead that kind of visualization exercise and get young people drawing their dreams and making it happen, right?
You're an art psychotherapist as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my training. I'm a program coordinator at the Family Resource Center, but my training is as an art psychotherapist.
How interesting.
Yeah.
What does that involve? I know that kind of delves from this book convo, but...
Yeah, well, that's a whole other story. But I got trained in Britain. So there's art therapy differs depending on where you've been trained and where it's practiced.
Okay.
But it's basically similar to verbal forms of therapy, but you're using art as almost like a triad relationship and supporting that person to fulfill their own goals or whatever it may be, similar to how you would maybe creatively use their words to help support them, guide them to, what they want to do. So it's very similar. It's just using art as a tool.
So from that, but I really like what's going on here. So because you're meshing everything together in a sense. And I think it's really cool, and it's a great learning tool as well.
Yeah.
So there's the creative elements in it. There's the inspirational elements. There's the learning that's going to come from this.
Yeah.
The encouraging the children to also be a little creative and then to think, yes, I can, and I will, and what's that going to be? Yes, I can do what, and just kind of put things into action.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, that's a thing too. Like sometimes when we get ourselves stuck in that I can't, I won't, whatever those kind of doubting thoughts are, we actually don't necessarily have to do loads of self-talk. We just have to take little bits of action. Because then when we see those actions maybe, do well, or even when we fail, we learn from the mistakes of it and we keep pushing. That actually is great in and of itself. So sometimes don't talk too much or listen to yourself too much. Is actually take little action and see what happens.
Right.
Because that will start some momentum for you. But definitely self-talk matters.
It does.
It does.
It does. And I would say the same, and this is what I had to learn in my late 30s, which I'm a little older than that now, but that's how long it took me. Thank you. That's how long it took me to figure it out. And it was through a therapist. Yeah. And it was just like, hey, she said to give me grace, but I realized the same energy that I was using for the negative self-talk and the self-doubt, if I could just use that exact same amount of time and energy and instead speak negatively to myself, to speak life into whatever I'm trying to do, it made a huge difference. Yes. So instead of, I can't do this, it was finishing university assignments. I can't, I'm just so overwhelmed, I can't. Yep. It turned into, I can. And I will.
How? Exactly. Yeah.
And I got it done. And it was just learning to reframe.
Yes.
And that's a lifelong lesson, I think.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. And I mean, even me who wrote this book, I have my moments with it too. And it's just as much for the families as the children.
I'm sorry. Somebody was saying, Susan, I didn't hear what you said. You got to say that again. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Small interruption there. If there's, I guess, kind of any lasting thoughts you'd want to leave people, please let me know what that would be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful book. I really enjoyed illustrating and writing it. It's something I think families, as much as children, could benefit from hearing, and it's a wonderful time to purchase because it's Christmas. And so if you're thinking of gifts for children, support local, and support this, and come to the local book author expo next Saturday, December 7th at 10:30 to 1 when you're doing your shopping, and pop in. And even if you don't purchase, just come say hi. And Miss Izzy's going to be there performing the song. And it's just going to be fun and entertaining, and you'll meet people too, and you might hear some incredible stories from other authors. If you choose not to purchase, still come and say hi.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to be there, definitely. So I'm going to
you.
come check that out. So
Yeah.
thanks for joining us this morning on the
thanks
Business
for
Buzz.
having me,
Congratulations
Kathy.
on
Thank you.
your first of what I hope will be many.
I hope so too. Yes, thank
And
you.
I love to see it. So I hope you keep going.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. We're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and I'll be back in studio on the Business Buzz next week.
Yay.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And by JGP Janitorial. Lose the mop, they'll clean the slop. JGP Janitorial, 548-1221.
This is the People's Radio Station.